mixing up the loads for tomorrow morning. Got the blend half out in the ground here and got the mix for tomorrow morning in the wagon at the moment, mixing. This is because today we're going to be hopefully getting things out of this wagon and putting it in the good wagon that we're doing up. There's 2 bottom augers, there's a sprocket to come out the front, and then the whole lot is going to get lifted off this axle, and the good wagon that's up the top there, it's going to get put on this axle. Mainly because this is a stepped axle and it's lower than the other wagon. We need this because of the height clearance, unfortunately. But doing this for now, just in case we don't get it done in a day, then tomorrow we can feed this with the other feed wagon that we use. Just in case we don't get it done. But if we do get it done, it'll be the new feed wagon feeding this tomorrow, and then the day after it'll get to do its first proper mixes. But we're just preparing just in case it doesn't all go to plan. So that's that, ready for tomorrow. Anyone wondering, that's what 7 tons of feeding looks like in one place. 2 wee lines. Here's the feed wagon conveyor back. All the runners are welded up on the chains, and a new base, so the feeding will go through the middle of it and onto the floor, so looks really good. Time will only tell. Now we're going to weld up the wagon. Dad's started on that. Been doing bits and bobs to it over the last few days, welding up, so Dad's welding more than now, then I'll likely take over. Need to get this shaft in. These cogs are what holds the augers on, so once the auger goes in, that'll get screwed on again. Best either, but will do for being a farmer. That's far better. That's got a hell of a good hold now. Brilliant. Bit got a bit thin and then went pop. Never mind. Right, that's that side on. These are all just to hold the plastic in place, as the metal that was holding it in place before is worn pretty well through, so we're welding these plates on. I've only got a couple bits left to weld on this big long bar. I think there's a hole in there to weld. That should be that, and then I think we're going to try and lift this off the axle shortly. This is a homemade press, so this was between the sides, and that's what was shoving the metal in to keep it in place, to move it around a few times to try and keep it well in, so I could get the welder right onto get the weld right on the metal. Bit of a pain. This big long jack, that's a big ram press thing. I can't remember the rating of the tonnage of it, but apparently it's quite daft, so just as well we didn't need it all to be shoving the wagon in flat. Right, that's all the welding done, and cleared out the wagon here, so that plastic should stay in place and it shouldn't lift when we start using it. Bro. But bigger parts are still to come. We're not sure just quite how easy it's going to be to take it apart off the axle. Might be easier than we think. I don't think there's that much holding it on. That's the two back bolts off that are holding the wagon on. The two bolts at the back that we've took off are attached to the weigh cell, and that's what holds the whole body onto the blooming axle. So there's one more to take off at the front. So I'm just taking the digger round to the other side just to take the pressure off the hole so it can be easily removed.
Drive this out, this at the back, the Manitou at the front, the forks to lift it. I need to do it down the bottom so we can put it out of the way. No use doing it here because then we need to move it somewhere.
Okay, the setup is this. Dad's getting the feed wagon tractor off of that wagon, coming up here, hitching up the good future wagon and driving it around the yard to here and reversing it back to the digger. And then the Manitou, or Manitou as some people call it, it's going to be reversed in here with some chains on it. The digger's going to lift it at the back, Manitou's going to lift it at the front, and then the tractor should hopefully drive away with the bottom axle only. And then after that we're going to put the wagon on top of the low loader. All go, all go. Back, down, back, back, up. Here we go. Okay, change of plan. Not sure why we didn't do it to start with, but we're going to be using the other forklift. Get a set of pallet forks and put it under to lift it back up. Makes more sense. Never mind. We were using the digger to start with, that's probably why we didn't think about it. But lift the back up with a forklift on a pallet fork so we don't go through the floor, and yeah, that should be that.
machine.